Good morning, Foothills folks and Appalachian Trail community. I say that because if you're watching this, you're probably part of the Appalachian Trail community, because that's where my videos usually relate around, but not these series. So, Foothills Trail day 4. Yesterday was another 19 miler. It was brutal. We are doing, that was the west end, so they say the east side after Whitewater is considerably easier. I had done this side before, although the opposite direction, so I think they're right. Of course, the opposite direction can always be harder too, but anyway, we stayed down at Sloan Bridge access. So there's picnic area there with a pit toilet, but there's no, it says no camping, so we just got a spot back in the woods where we camped the first year that we did this, on the inaugural end of days hike. And so now we're moving on towards, we got about 23 miles to do today. I don't think the group I'm with is going to want to do those. So we may wind up another day. Look, hard work off. We may wind up another day out here in the woods, and that's okay. We're on vacation. Although after 4 days of waking up to below freezing temperatures and a lot of wet tent and stuff, can't say I don't miss my bed and my wife, trail boss, keeping me warm, and Coda, my lab, and Daisy, the doodle dog, Kenobi, the tuxedo cat, and Grace, the, I don't know what you call her cat, that kind of cat. Anyway, yes, they all wind up sleeping in the bed. Sometimes not all at one time. Typically in the morning, they're all in there in the bed with us, trying to get us to wake up to feed them, pawing at us and popping us literally in the face, or just snuggling with us. But anyway, that's home. Let's talk about the trail. So it looks like we're mainly going to be heading downhill towards the Chatuga River. So the game plan is about 17 miles to a campsite. Interesting, there's a campsite along the way called Possible Campsite. I don't know if that's the real name or somebody just put it on far out as that. But anyway, that's the game plan. That puts us within, I guess, 6 miles of coming out tomorrow. Now, personally, I'm up for doing the 23, but if the group don't want to do that, I'm cool with that too. I thought we was all going downhill. Apparently not. Let me get back to you. Okay, so we just passed Burroughs Ford, which was about 7.1 from when we left this morning. So we're doing really good on time. Still don't think we're going out, but right now we're 16 away. I could do it, but anyway, what the cool thing was down at Burroughs Ford was there's a trail angel down there, and I believe her name was Two Tops. If I screwed that up, I'll try to figure out her name and put it down here below. She contacted me about doing trail magic for the end of days hike and trying to get it coordinated to where, you know, she wasn't where fresh ground was going to be, so that they could get it spread out. So anyhow, that worked out great because Fresh Ground's not coming to Burles Ford. He's going to stay up at Whitewater and catch the folks that are a little slower, the tail end folks, because it's not fair to them for the front end folks to get all the trail magic. And plus, that gives him more of an audience. Fresh Ground likes a big audience. And I can say that about him because he knows I love him. But anyway, so he's going to stay up there and they're going to be here. They're doing pulled pork. There will be some people loving that. So they'll get that about 13 miles beyond Fresh Ground. Is that right? Yeah. No, about 12 miles beyond Fresh Ground. Be interested to see. So Whitewater Falls is the first place that, once you get on trail from the Laurel Valley parking lot, that's really the first place you can get off. Like 25-30 miles in there. So you're on the trail. No road crossings. No way anybody get to you to shelter you out if you just want to quit. So, or bail as we call it. So be interested to see how many people decided they were happy with their hike, and we're not going to be continuing it. We started with somewhere around 44ish, so we'll see how that goes. All right, my hands are cold. I got to get them warmed up. So this is one of the prettiest portions of the hike. This is the Chatuga River. Look how clear that water is. Gorgeous, gorgeous river. But don't you look how big these logs are over here and the force it took to bring these logs. I mean, the logs obviously had to get up on top of those rocks over there. How big they are, how much water was flowing through here. That is crazy. I don't know when that happened, but those are some big old logs. Anyhow, this is the hike down along the river, and it goes for quite a while down here. I know there's a falls that we'll go by, a couple falls actually, so we'll try to take a look at those when we get down here. So they've had a fire through here, pretty good sized fire. Looks like it mainly burned a lot of the underbrush, which is a good thing, but still it goes back up in the woods for a ways. And I saw it earlier, this portion of the trail was closed for a couple weeks, maybe longer, when we had the big drought. Ooh, that one got burnt pretty good. We had a drought, and they closed this section. I don't recall if they closed it because of the drought, or maybe it was closed because of the fire. I'm not sure. I don't recall there being a fire, so I was a little surprised to see all these charred woods up here. But anyway, obviously they did. And this, I mean, there's not really much they can do here. Maybe airdrops, but you know, I hadn't seen anything significant like fire lines, or well, they've come in here with a dozer. Look at that clear water. Wow. Man, if you was a bass fisherman, you could just see the bass. Of course, I guess they could see you too. Anyhow, so it was closed, but I don't know. I guess they just let it burn, and airdrops about all they can do. So definitely this time, sometime this year though. Well, that's one thing that I did not know was down here on the Foothills Trail was a beaver. That'd take a heck of a daggum dam to block up that water. And I got no idea how he's gonna drag that tree through all that. They got to gnaw on that tree first, and that rhododendron bush down there first. Get everything out of the way and maybe drop it in the river. But wow. All right, so we are eventually coming into, sooner rather than later, I think it's Sims Field, where we camped the first go round of the end of day's hike. I recall those hikes, number 1 and number 2, completely different than what I've experienced so far. Of course, I've never hiked the eastern side. I've already talked about that. I'm blue in the face. Oh, look at that. Wow. I have to stop here and take a picture if I got a clear shot. But anyway, let me wait till I get by this waterfall. As I was saying, I remember this hike completely different. I don't know if they've moved the trail or I'm just an idiot, but I remember it being a nice, semi sort of flat hike once you got along the river, just for miles and miles. It's been anything but. It's been up, down, up, down. And I had planned on doing a video about how I had healed my plantar fasciitis, because it's been doing really well. Didn't bother me when I went on a hike in Virginia. I believe that was in September, October. And it's a little soreness, but not a big deal. But it has come back with a vengeance on this hike. I think it's because of so many ups and downs that yanks on that Achilles tendon. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm in a lot of pain right now. I've taken something for it, some high strength ibuprofen, but yeah, if I hadn't taken that, it probably would have laid me out. But it still hurts. So I gotta figure out what to do about that. That makes hiking not enjoyable for me, and definitely puts a AT through hike out of reach if I can't handle 76 miles on this trail without being in big time pain. I don't know if it's it's probably a function of the hills and weight. So probably need to, I think I gained back the 13 pounds I'd lost. Gained them back over the holidays. And I know that has a factor in it. And then the weight on my back. So I got to figure out how to go lighter. My back feels pretty dang light until I throw in the food, which I always carry too much of, and the water. So I gotta sort through some things between now and when I take my through hike. And when I didn't have this kind of issue that I can recall when I went through Massachusetts and Vermont. So got to figure that out, what's going on here. In any case, we're coming into Sims Field here. So come along, pulled over. Looks like we're going to maybe eat lunch or something. All right, end of day 4. We are about 0.2 of a mile out from Tamasee campsite. End of a 20-mile day. Our feet are barking. Everybody's feet hurt them, and they've said as much. So Anyhow, we was planning to stop earlier, but we never saw a campsite. I don't know how we missed them. I know there was, I don't know, there was those campsites that shows on far out. We just missed them for some reason. Anyway, there was supposed to be one right where you cross 107, and the plan was to stop short of that and then catch fresh ground in the morning, but obviously we're way past him, so we're on our own. And we're only going to have, I don't know, 3 miles or 4 miles or so to the car in the morning, so we'll be out of here early. I would rather stop short and my feet not hurt so bad, but I'm sure they would have too, but whatever reason we missed it. So anyhow, this will probably close out day 4. Tomorrow will be a quick day 5, and depending on how much time I've got on these videos for today, I may tag it on that, or I may just go and do day 4 and then do a summary. You'll find out, won't you? All right. We will chat with you in the morning.